Family, Familia, by Diane Gonzales. Illustrations by Pauline Rodriguez. Sometimes when we worked together, my father liked to tell me my family stories. I listened, but I didn't really care. Sometimes I even felt bored. What did those people have to do with me? Then one night during supper, my father told us, "This summer there will be a family reunion in San Antonio. We have families scattered across Texas. Some live in other states. Some even live in Mexico. Can you imagine, Daniel? La Familia Gonzales all in one place?" I wasn't excited like my father. I just bet this reunion would be nothing but old people sitting around telling old stories. There wouldn't be anything for a boy like me to do. I would have been happy to have stayed in Kingsville. Instead, I had to ride beside my big sisters for 4 long hours in the back seat of our truck. Finally, we reached the park in San Antonio. As we got out of the truck, 2 old people walked up to meet us. "Ay, Alberto, ¿cómo estás?" said the tall man, who hugged my father. Then he turned to squeeze me in his big arms. "Mio, I'm your tío, Manuel." "This is my son Daniel," my father told a woman in a flowered dress, "and my 2 daughters, Nelda and Josie." "Ay, que lindos," she said as she stroked my cheek. She kissed my sisters. "This is your great aunt, your tia Graciela," Dad said. "She's the one who invited everyone to this picnic." Tia Graciela took us to meet the others. Everyone sat at picnic tables under a large covered area. She showed us a big poster listing all the family names: Gonzales, Martinez, Balbo, McRae, Rosencrantz. "This is how we know the different families," Tia Graciela said, and stuck a name tag on my t-shirt. "A red badge means Benito Gonzales was your great-great-grandfather." A lot of people I didn't know wore red tags too. I would look at them and wonder, how can he be a Gonzales? He doesn't look anything like my dad. A big man named Tio Lelo gave every person a ticket for raffle too. I stuck mine in my pocket and thought, what will I do all day? At least there was a lot to eat. People brought brisket, sausage, fried chicken, and cabrito. There was arroz and beans, potato salad, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, and jalapenos. There were apple and cherry pies, pan dulce, and a big white cake with Gonzales written on it in blue frosting. While we ate, the mariachis arrived. One stood in front of the other musicians and sang Mexican songs. Later, Tio Manuel sang with the mariachis too. He even borrowed a sombrero and wore it. That's when I remembered my father's story about how Tio Manuel used to sing in a band in Mexico. One table of people clapped when Tio Manuel pulled up a blonde-haired boy to sing the next song. There he stood in his baseball cap, green t-shirt, and cut-off jeans, singing like a mariachi. Everyone clapped when the boy yelled a loud grito in the middle of the song. Just before the mariachis left, Tia Graciela and the mariachi singer danced. Next came the family picture. My father, sisters, and I stood with a family that descended from Benito Gonzales. There were so many of us in the picture that I could barely see the woman holding the camera. Afterwards, someone raised a big piñata high in one of the trees. A line of children took turns trying to break it. The boy in the green t-shirt finally cracked open a big hole. Everyone crawled on the ground for handfuls of candy. I was sitting under a tree pulling grass out of my candy when the boy in the green t-shirt sat beside me. "Would you trade me gum for sour balls?" he asked. After we made the trade, he said, "My name is Brian. I live in Dallas." "I'm Daniel. I live in Kingsville." Later, he showed me his skateboard and we took turns in the parking lot. Then I showed him my new baseball glove. He grabbed one of his out of his mother's car and we played catch. We were hot and sweaty when Tia Graciela called out, "Sandia!" Tio Lelo and Tio Manuel laid newspapers on the table and cut up watermelons. The sandia was cold and sweet. Brian and I spit out our seeds at each other's feet. Each of us ate 3 pieces. "Who is this?" my father asked me. "This is Brian. He's a boy I've been playing with." My father laughed and said, "Well, he's your cousin, too." I looked at Brian, and he looked at me. "All right," we both said, and we slapped our hands together in a high five. Under the big cover, a DJ played music. Many people danced together. The little girls blew bubbles that floated around the dancers and popped them. Brian and I watched all the teenage girls run away as Tio Lelo started asking the ladies to dance. "Hide us! Hide us!" Nelda and Josie said, running behind Brian and me. Dad always said that to Tio Lelo likes to dance with someone from an old movie. What if he wants to dance with us? Brian and I laughed at my silly sisters, and we laughed more when Brian pointed and said, "Look, my mother's dancing with Tio Lelo." The family reunion went on until dark. Brian and I hunted for chicharras, made music on blades of grass, and had a sword fight with pieces of the piñata. We ate more barbecue, watermelon, and pieces of the Gonzales family cake. I even got a G on my second piece. Just after the DJ said he was about to play the last song, old Tio Lelo got on the microphone. "We all come from the same trunk of a family tree. Our grandparents, Ramon and Teresa, produced their 6 children. They had children and grandchildren. We must not forget that all of us are branches of a strong tree. Viva la Familia Gonzales." Everyone cheered, and Brian even taught me how to yell a grito. "Now, everyone should get out their raffle ticket to see who wins the big prize," Tio Lelo told us. He reached into a silver bucket. He read out the number, 451. I couldn't believe it. The number on my ticket was 451. I shook Tio Lelo's hands, and he gave me a big framed picture of my great-great-grandparents, Ramon and Teresa Gonzales. Brian and I had to say goodbye. He told me to come to Dallas. I told him to come to Kingsville. We even promised to write letters to each other. As I sat in the back seat of the truck with my sisters, I thought about the reunion and my family. We were all part of the same family, La Familia Gonzales. We lived in different places, and some had different names, but we were all connected. And I was the lucky one who got to hold that connection in my arms all the way home. The end.